Hello out there. This is John Wayne Mercure, the Sonneteer from Chandler, Arizona. And I got a sonnet here that I like to review books that I've loved in my life and movies too. And this sonnet number 1100 is Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. Charles Dickens was a great writer. He wrote about two cities, London and Paris, during the French Revolution. The 1935 movie, the great Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. It's an old movie, 1935, black and white. Well, surviving the bloody French Revolution is a miracle of destiny. I mean, they chopped off more than 17,000 heads with a guillotine. 17,000. 25,000 were killed by other ways throughout France. The revolution was awful. The French Revolution, guillotine blood so grisly. Grinning heads laughing, the devil's dance. French Revolution's insane slaughter filled them all with lunacy. Senseless bloodshed. Evil Madame Defarge in the movie. Her cinema insanity. Guillotine, guillotine. Let's cut all their heads off. Mob rule. Revolution devoured itself. The instigators that started the revolution, Danton, he got guillotined. Marat, he got stabbed in the chest when he was bathing. Robespierre, he got guillotined. No one was safe. Gory butchery, jungle law. Ronald Colman in this movie, A Tale of Two Cities, he plays Sidney Carton and did a really good job, Ronald Colman. I like his voice. A splendid performance, a uniquely attractive voice, a very, very nice voice. I like it. He won high accolades, deserved for his empathy for the part, his gallant sacrifice of his life. I really liked his comforting the little girl, the seamstress. Isabelle Jewell was her name in real life. She's the actress. They were going to behead her. Why? Because she'd been a seamstress to a noble. And she hadn't done anything. But they had that bloodlust. They wanted to see heads rolling. And they did it too. And this poor Isabelle Jewell, and he comforted her. He said, it's going to be okay. I'll be there with you. Kindly holding her hand on way to execution. Her fear was dispelled. She was really grateful that he took the time to reach out to her and say, hey, we'll go together. Sidney Carton was his name, giving up his life to save his friend, Raymond. There was a friend that was in prison, and he went and traded places with him so he would die and not his friend, who had a sweetheart. And he said, I got to give my life for my friend, and he did. Raymond. It's definitely heroic, dying for another. Friendship's iron bond, to die for your friend. The last words he had in that book. It's a far better thing I do, said Sidney Carton. It's a far better thing I do than I've ever done. It's a far better rest I go to than I've ever known. And then they chop his head off, and the movie ends. But it's really a good movie about the French Revolution, and the French Revolution was important to learn about. It's written in Holy Scripture. There's no greater love that any man has than he who lays his life down for his brother, his fellow man. And that's what Sidney Carton did. Had his head chopped off so his friend could be free with his sweetheart. Out of the chaos of the French Revolution, hey, then there's the Russian Revolution. It's just as terrible. American Revolution, that was bad too. But only America's leaders were not executed. All revolutions devour the ones that started them. I mean, Trotsky got an ice pick in his head. And these people, when they die, hey, the American Revolution succeeded in that. The ones that started the revolution, they didn't get hung. Like Benjamin Franklin says, if we don't hang together, we're all going to hang separately. Well, they didn't get hung. They survived the revolution. And that's the American Revolution. Our American Republic, it still survives. France's Republic created Napoleon. Victorious Napoleon. He dreamed of a great United States of Europe. And that was his dream. The kings didn't want it. The queens didn't want it. They wouldn't have it, and crushed France's revolution. And now we see a European Union has been created now without a shot being fired. And guess who controls it? Germany does. And everybody knows it. And Germany wanted to conquer Europe And now they've got Europe united under Germany without firing a shot. It's amazing, I think. Well, the French Revolution was violent and ugly, beyond all description. It's better far to negotiate, to talk about things, to compromise with fair legislation, a common law for everybody. During the nasty Nazi Third Reich, Germans, when I first heard this, I didn't believe it, but it's true. The Germans, the Nazis, they guillotined 16,000. Think of that, 16,000. That's a lot of people to chop their heads off. They had portable guillotines they had in the basement. Well, they abolished freedom by doing that, cutting people's heads off. They crushed their opposition. Satan's wicked hand. It's Satan that was doing that. The revolution that we have, whatever it is, must be peaceful negotiations. Absolutely no violence. Some international self-control. Mandatory merciful conscience. The universal human conscience. Can't we all be merciful to each other? Tiny Tim, in that great Christmas Carol movie, Tiny Tim, okay? He says, hey, God bless us, everyone. That's a universal commandment. We've got to be good to each other in righteousness, and that's what this sonnet's about. A Tale of Two Cities. He was righteous, even when they took his head off. He was righteous, helping that poor girl to get through the bridge to heaven. And he chopped off his head, and God bless Sidney Carton and Charles Dickens. God bless us everyone. Au revoir, mes amis.